he applied, that he got it rezoned. We all know that he didn't do that. We all know that the tax assessor's records, that Lamar paid over $2 million for the properties within the PIP. But the records show that it's only assessed a little over $600,000. He paid almost 4 times the current assessed value when he purchased it back in 2007. The tax assessor states that he has no mechanism to value the property differently. What better method of valuating the property than the purchase price? That's apparently what happened to me when I purchased my property. It was valued at what I paid for it. Lamar Sykes is a businessman, and I bet he did a cost-benefit analysis before he purchased the property. He's not in business to lose money. We all know Lamar Sykes violated the special exception by destroying the portion of the buffer zone required around the mining operation. That was the final straw for many residents in the community who have been patiently waiting on BCC to work through their shade meetings. We all know that it took over a month and much persuasion from a frustrated community for the board to finally file a lawsuit against Lamar Sykes, seeking immediate injunctive relief for the related violation. The buffer was destroyed on June 23rd, 2010. The suit was filed on July 28, 2010. And we all thought that finally we had overcome all the hurdles and stumbling blocks and that something was going to happen. Little didn't we know that the judge would not accept the case on this docket, or at least that he was, or at least that's what we were told. We were told that Judge Register was being reassigned after the first of the year, and when he was not taking on any new cases. Now remember, that was in October 2010. Judge Register doesn't rotate to January 2011, a full 3 months before a new judge is seated. We all know that the wheel of justice moves slow, and that we're going to have to wait until the new judge is seated. Months clicked by. January, February, March, April, May, nothing happening. No word from the attorney, commissioners, or staff. So I went to the clerk's office to see if any paperwork had been filed. I found that Sykes had filed a response to the suit and that the county had responded to his defenses. Those dates are August 16, 2010 and August 20, 2010. I also found a filing by the court-appointed mediator, Ross McCloy, reporting that the court that impasse had been reached by both parties. That was dated July 26, 2010, a year ago. For those of you present tonight, that's the case where the commissioners have been telling us all this time that they can't talk about it. And it's an impasse for a whole year that they can't talk about it. Commissioners, that was a year ago that you reached that impasse. What's so secretive about the negotiations that have caused you to act covertly for the last 12 months? Are you afraid that the public's going to find out your individual positions? You don't need to worry about that. We already know. And you can bet we'll be working just as hard against you in the next elections as we have on this Sanford issue so far. It's time we elect some leaders that have a desire to lead and serve and not just draw a paycheck. By the way, Commissioner Abbott, I want to commend you publicly for the work, for the spark of leadership that I saw in you at the workshop last week. You admonished staff for violating a commission mandate. Too bad that the other commissioners didn't see the point that you were trying to make. My time's running short, I know it, but I want to report to the community and to the Board of County Commissioners that the FDEP is entering into a consent order with Lamar Sykes, and the consent order is full of lawyer language, but in a nutshell, this is what it says in layman terms. Number one, Lamar Sykes cannot expand or alter the sand pit different from what is shown on the December 30th, 2008 aerial photograph. 2, Lamar Sykes shall make an application for an environmental resource permit within 120 days of the consent order date. What that means is the application for this ERP allows the pit expansion and buffer destruction to exist and continue until his environmental resource permit is approved. That could take years in and of itself. And then by FDEP laws, the restoration of the buffer may not be required until after he has completed.
You have 30 seconds.
Mine. Lamar Sykes it was fined $3,500. That's his fine. $3,000 of that is for the violation of the law, and $500 is for the costs and expenses of the FDP to investigate the matter. Does that sound reasonable to you? No. Let's see, about 20 hours to investigate for $25 an hour. But then, judging from the content of the consent order, it does appear to be correct. It took them less than a week to investigate, develop, consent order, and almost a year to serve it.
Mr. Sanderson,
I reckon
I will put up my nose beating on that back there.
Mr. Chairman, I have only about 5 more minutes, and I would request that you let me finish the presentation.
I told you coming in here.
You told me,
15 minutes, questions and all of that.
and I understand that, but you didn't apply that same rule to the previous speakers before you. 2 of the 3 that spoke took more than 15 minutes.
Before you was a staff member.
Okay. He's making a presentation just like I was.
Don't argue with that.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm stating facts, Commissioner.
You making excuses, Commissioner.
Sir, sir, I'm not going to put up with
Pay
this.
your damn salary, let him talk.
5 minutes.
No.
It takes about 5 minutes for me to complete my
It's posted back
presentation.
there, and this is just what you wanted the plan to get tonight.
Can we
All
hear
right,
it?
so,
How much is Lamar Sykes paying you then?
Yeah, that's what we
Who
like
was-
to know.
who said that?
I do, sir. I used to work for Lamar Sykes. I know
Sir,
Lamar Sykes.
I will be seeing you later. I do not take bribes, never have. And I'm not going to.
Well,
then please let him speak, sir.
No.
5
Commissioner,
minutes.
that's
He
how,
came in
that's
here
how you,
one- he
5
came
minutes,
in
sir.
here knowing what-
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, let me interject here. This is your meeting, I understand that, but ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this in an orderly, professional manner. I don't run this show here, he does. So I'm not gonna let this thing get out of hand either. So I ask you to respect the body, whether you agree with them or not. So I respect the body, what's going on. That's all I ask you to do. So that's the reason why I need you to sit. Sir? No, sir, but I enforce the laws of the state of Florida, and that's what I'm doing right now. So we just sit tight, and you might have a legitimate gripe, I understand that. But the way you follow the rules, the way they want it, whether you like it or not. That's not my rule, that's the rule they invoke, but I'm not gonna let this situation get out of hand either. Okay, thank you.
I respectfully request the commission to let me finish my presentation.
Right.
Ross and personnel director.
They're staff members. They're not limited.
They were making
time.
presentations to the board.
They're not
I'm
limited.
making a
time.
presentation to the board, and you limited me to this.
Jesse, we've been friends a long time.
Yes, sir.
Now, please sit down, because I'm not gonna let this get out of hand. I'm not going to jeopardize the litigation out there. Now, unless y'all wanna come up with a lot of money to help file a suit, because we're $1.2 million down, and we've got to do something about it.
Let's just stop right there. He's asked for a request for an extension. The chair's got the right to give him the extension
Yes
or
or
not
no?
give him the extension. That's the procedure, so we don't need to get into a.
You don't want them arguing, so we don't need to be arguing up here
He's
either.
asked for a request for an extension, the chair can give him the extension or deny the extension, and we move on, but we don't need to get into a shout match and stuff.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I will be coming back again to complete it.